a go at good old potato printing, which I spoke to a gardening colleague about this and she said, is that not just like what you do at school? But actually, I really like it, and I think you can get quite creative with this one as well. So more materials. So for this one, you will need, I've just got some cheap brown recycled postage paper or plain wrapping paper, some kind of wrapping paper. You could do this on cards or on standard paper as well, but I just wanted to show you something different. So for this one, I have done this one with adults of all sorts of different diagnoses, and we have kind of taken a length of paper each, cut the length of paper, and then we have stuck down the corners so that it doesn't kind of move around for people. And a couple of times with groups of children, I have rolled the whole thing out in an outdoor space and given them all the different printing materials that I have and just let them go to town with it. I've got great photos of groups of children, you know, all across the length of the wrapping paper, just having fun outside. So you can, again, you can adapt this to different groups. So hopefully you can see this. My table is getting fuller and fuller. So you could use any of the sort of techniques that we've done. Well, maybe not the wax rubbing. I think this paper might struggle with it a little, but definitely the acrylic printing you could do on wrapping paper as well. But I am going to show you potato printing. So you will need some paint in a little tray. So this is a lid off of an old peanut butter jar. You could use the lid of a Tupperware box, a nice flat plastic tray, anything, you know, an old takeaway box, anything like that. It needs to be something that will be big enough for a piece of potato to get into the paint. And again, I'm using the acrylic paints. I found these give you like a cleaner print, but you can use poster paints. And I think if I was doing it with, you know, a big group of people who maybe don't want to get messy or lots of children, I would probably just use some nice school washable paint and not worry too much about the end result. But I'm going to use acrylics for now. So you just want to put as many colours as you like. So some people might need a different tub for each colour. Others will be able to cope with having a few in one container. And again, you just want the paint to be fairly smooth and a decent layer, but it doesn't have to be super thick. Don't know if that will help you to see roughly what we're trying to find the right direction, how much paint I've got. So that's the red and the green. I'm trying not to have any big lumps of paint. I want to have it kind of smoothed out as much as possible. And then you want to have somewhere for people to be able to put their brushes as well. So again, lots of scrap paper and newspaper all over. And then the potato printing part. So again, depending on who you're working with, you might have to do the shapes of the potatoes in advance. Some people might not be able to use sharp knives, not be able to be around sharp knives. You can use metal or plastic cookie cutters, but sometimes they don't get all the way through and you need a knife to finish things off. So you can decide how much prep you want to do in advance for this activity. So you can just cut standard kind of half circle shapes. You can cut little diamonds. I had a go at hand cutting a tree. Or if you want to get more precise shapes, you can. So this is one I've done with a star. So earlier on, I pushed the star onto the potato. So I'll show you how you do that actually. So you want to have it with the cutting side up, and then you would have a half potato. So I'm using the potatoes that I dug up at work yesterday that were the ones that were chopped by accident. When you're digging up the potatoes, you always do that, don't you? Accidentally chop a potato or fork a potato. So I felt like that would be a good use of these. You want to choose potatoes that are a decent size, not little ones. And so you can see there the star has gone in, but it's stuck. So you might want to try just following the shape with a knife. So this is fiddly, and I wouldn't have everyone doing this, but it's quite quick to prepare a load of shapes. And like when I did it with a large group of kids, I did, 20 or 30 shapes the day before, and then just had them all ready. This is the challenging bit, trying to get it off, and then you have a star. If you're using ones that you have just done right there and then, you want to try and blot off some of the water from the potato. So I've got an old tea towel here, but you could use kitchen towel and try and blot off some of the liquid. If you're then using them the following day, you can just keep them all bundled up in your kitchen towel and take them in with you the following day. So, got all my shapes. Clear some of these things out of the way. I find when I'm doing this that doing quite repetitive prints works. It's quite like pleasing to the eye afterwards when you finish, but it's up to the individual. They can do whatever they like. They can do a wild pattern, they can do repetitive, prints in a straight line, they could make a scene, whatever they like. And so I think I'm going to go for, what will I do, trees. So you want to get your print covered in paint, and you can have a good look at it and see. And they will not come out the perfect shape. They'll be wiggly and blotchy here and there. And you can sometimes get a couple of prints out of each piece. And this is again quite a nice one if you've got a group of people who maybe want to be able to take this home and wrap up gifts for people. And you can just keep going back and forward, making a print. All the way down like that. I have seen people do this where they maybe put the potato across both colours at the same time, but I'm not going to do that right now. Maybe I'll go wild and do that next. Oh, dropping them. The other thing I'd say is you want your chunks of potato to be a decent size, so it's not too fiddly for people. So I'll have a little go with the diamond. And just go down here. So you can go quite quickly. And this is when it does, like, you do need somewhere to start putting things for people. And quite quickly you can start to get a nice, well, this is very Christmassy, isn't it? But any kind of print. You could use metallic, gold paint, you could use whatever you like. I had a go earlier and made this one, which is quite fun. I've seen people do them with luminous pinks, with black and white, to make them a little bit more sophisticated than mine. You can do whatever you like. And that one is just really simple bits of potato shape, and I think it's come out quite nice. And I think that's that for that one. So you would just keep printing all the way across using different shapes, different colours. People could have a go at coming up with their, one thing you can do actually is if people want to come up with their own design, you can give them a half chunk of a potato and they can draw a little shape on it for you, and then you can cut it out for them if they want to have more say in the shapes and things as well. There's always ways of adapting it to let people be as involved as possible. But if people had a go at doing these, they might go home with a bit of wrapping paper, piece of artwork and a few cards, lots of bits of wrapping paper, and hopefully that gives them something they can use, and something that they're proud of. So I think that's me.